Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Daily English Podcast. I'm Anna, and today I'm feeling both excited and slightly nervous because we're about to talk about three tiny words that somehow create very big confusion.
Hi, Anna. Hi, everyone. I'm Tom. And honestly, every time I hear be, been, and being, my brain goes into slow motion, like it's buffering.
Yes, I totally understand that feeling, Tom, because sometimes you know the sentence is wrong, but you just can't explain why it sounds strange.
Exactly. Like when someone says, I am been tired, and you feel something is off, but you don't know what to fix first.
Yes, and today's episode is perfect because we'll slowly untangle the mystery behind be, been, and being without making it feel like a grammar class.
And by the end, you won't just recognize them, you'll actually feel when each one is right.
But before we jump in, please like this video and subscribe to Daily English Podcast because your support helps us keep making calm, fun lessons like this every week.
Yes, every like and subscription reminds us that someone out there is learning with us and not just laughing at our grammar confusion.
So today, we'll share real-life situations where be, been, and being appear naturally, like talking about work, feelings, or daily routines.
Imagine telling someone, I have be busy all day, and they politely smile while silently wondering what just happened.
Yes, or when you say, I am being tired instead of I am tired, and suddenly your sentence sounds like a robot trying to speak human.
Yes. And that's why understanding how these forms connect to time and action makes everything clearer.
We'll look at how be shows a simple state, how been connects to experience, and how being describes something in progress.
And don't worry, we won't throw complicated rules at you. We'll keep it natural and conversational.
Because in real life, nobody stops to think about grammar charts while ordering food or talking to friends.
Exactly. You just want to speak smoothly without second-guessing every word.
And once you start noticing these patterns, you'll hear them everywhere, in conversations, podcasts, and even movies.
Yes. And suddenly you'll realize you've been hearing them all along without understanding them.
By practicing together, you'll slowly build confidence and stop freezing mid-sentence.
So stay with us, relax, and let's explore how these small words quietly shape everyday English.
Now, let's slow things down and really understand how to use be, been, and being in real life, because many learners feel confused when these three show up in sentences, and suddenly everything feels heavier than it should be.
Yes, and the first thing to remember is that be is the original form, the base shape, and it usually appears after modal verbs or expressions like want to, need to, or have to. So when you say something like, I want to be calm, or you need to be patient, everything sounds natural and balanced.
A very common mistake learners make is saying, I want being calm, or I need being ready, which sounds strange because after words like want or need, English expects the base form, and that base form is be.
So when you say something like, you must be careful, or I will be there, you're using the pure form that fits perfectly after helping words, and that's why it sounds smooth and correct.
Now, let's gently move to been, which connects something from the past to the present moment in a way that feels very natural in conversation.
You'll almost always see been together with have or has, like in the sentence, I have been busy today, which tells us the situation started earlier and still affects now.
If someone says she has been studying all morning, it means the action began in the past and continues to matter in the present.
That's why saying I am been tired sounds wrong, because been needs a helper like have, so the correct version becomes I have been tired.
This structure helps you talk about experiences that still connect to your life now, like we have been working hard this week.
And when you say he has been feeling better, you're showing change over time that still matters today.
Now let's explore being, which usually shows something happening right now or temporarily.
For example, when you say she is being quiet today, you're describing behavior in the moment, not her personality forever.
That's very different from saying she is quiet, which sounds like a permanent trait.
So being helps you show temporary actions or attitudes, like he is being funny or they are being helpful today.
Another important use of being appears in passive structures, like the house is being cleaned, which tells us the action is happening right now.
Instead of saying the house is cleaned, which sounds finished, this shows progress.
You might also hear the problem is being solved, which emphasizes ongoing action.
So while be shows a general state, been links past to present, and being highlights something happening now.
Once you start noticing these roles, the confusion slowly fades away.
Instead of guessing randomly, you begin choosing naturally.
And suddenly, sentences like, I have been working, she is being patient, and you must be careful feel clear instead of confusing.
That's the moment when English stops feeling like a puzzle and starts feeling like a real tool for expression.
And with practice, these forms become part of your everyday speaking without stress.
So step by step, your confidence grows as you understand not just the rule, but the feeling behind each form.
And that's how you move from memorizing grammar to actually using it in real conversations.
Now that we understand the roles of be, been, and being, let's explore how they actually appear in daily conversations so you can use them naturally without stopping to translate in your head every time you speak.
When someone says, I want to be successful, they're talking about a future state or identity, and this is exactly where the base form be fits comfortably after expressions of desire or intention.
In real life, you might say, you don't need to be perfect, which shows that be helps express conditions or expectations without sounding complicated.
Another common moment is giving advice, like, you should be honest, where be follows the modal verb and creates a smooth, clear sentence.
In workplace conversations, people often say things like, we need to be ready before the meeting starts, which again uses the base form after need to.
Now moving into been, imagine someone telling you, I have been busy all week, which connects past effort to the present feeling.
If your friend says she has been trying to learn English, the sentence focuses on effort over time, not just the final result.
In conversations about emotions, people say, I have been feeling stressed lately, which shows an ongoing emotional state.
You might also hear, they've been working on this project for months, which highlights duration and persistence.
When someone says he has been thinking about changing his job, the idea still feels active now.
Now, let's bring being into real-life tone and behavior.
If a parent says, you were being too loud, they are talking about current behavior, not personality.
In relationships, someone may say, he's being very kind today, which suggests something temporary and noticeable.
At work, you might hear, the system is being updated, which clearly shows an ongoing process.
In customer service situations, people might say, your request is being handled, meaning action is happening right now.
If your teacher says, you were being careless, it refers to a current attitude.
You might also say, she's being brave during this difficult time, emphasizing present strength.
In teamwork, someone could say, we are being supportive, showing collective action.
And when giving feedback, a manager might say, you are being very productive today.
In social settings, someone may say, they are being funny again, which signals temporary behavior.
When describing progress, we often say, the plan is being improved.
Or in daily life, dinner is being prepared.
And even in emotional reflection, someone may say, I have been learning patience.
Or, we have been waiting for this moment.
Meanwhile, guidance often includes phrases like, try to be calm.
Or, don't be afraid.
Or encouragement like, you can be stronger.
Together, these forms appear constantly in everyday speech.
And once you recognize them in real situations, using them becomes natural.
Instead of memorizing rules, you begin feeling the structure.
And that's how real fluency starts to grow. Sometimes learners say, I'm been tired all day, because they try to mix present and past together, while the correct sentence should be, I have been tired all day, since the feeling started earlier and continues until now.
Many people also say, she's been working here for years, but what they actually need is, she has been working here for years, because we use been with have or has.
In daily conversations, learners sometimes say, I have being busy, but the correct form is I have been busy because being cannot follow have.
When describing temporary behavior, someone may incorrectly say, you are being rude, while the correct natural form is you are being rude because the behavior is happening right now.
At work, learners often say, the project has being delayed, but it should be the project has been delayed because we use been in passive perfect structures.
In emotional situations, people may say, he's been nice today, when they actually want to say, he's being nice today.
When talking about recent changes, someone might say, we're being more careful, instead of we have been more careful.
When explaining effort, learners sometimes say, she has being trying hard, instead of she has been trying hard.
In school settings, a student might say, I'm been focused lately, instead of I have been focused.
When talking about behavior, learners sometimes confuse personality and temporary action by saying, he's being lazy person, instead of he's being lazy today.
In teamwork, someone might say, we have being patient, instead of we have been patient.
When talking about progress, learners sometimes say, I am being improved, instead of I am improving or I have been improving.
In customer service, someone might say, you have being helpful, instead of you have been helpful.
In everyday life, learners say, dinner has being prepared, instead of dinner has been prepared.
When describing change, people may say, she's been stronger, instead of she has been stronger lately.
In relationships, someone may say, we are being understanding, instead of we have been understanding.
In discussions, learners might say, they have being careful, instead of they have been careful.
When talking about stress, someone may say, I am being nervous, instead of I have been nervous.
And in many real-life conversations, understanding when to use be, being, and been correctly makes your English sound natural instead of confused or mixed. When learners finally understand the difference between be, been, and being, they start to feel more confident because suddenly their sentences sound smoother and more natural in everyday conversations.
For example, instead of saying something confusing like, I am been stressed, they begin to say, I have been stressed, and the meaning becomes clear and correct.
When describing ongoing behavior, they stop saying, he's been funny, and instead say, he's being funny, which sounds natural and expressive.
In work situations, instead of saying, the report is been finished, they now say, the report has been finished, which clearly connects past action to the present.
When talking about effort, they stop saying she has been working hard and say she has been working hard, which shows progress over time.
In emotional conversations, instead of saying you are been kind, they now say you are being kind, which focuses on current behavior.
When talking about experience, learners move from we're been busy lately to we have been busy lately.
In daily routines, instead of saying I'm been careful, they now say I am being careful.
In teamwork, instead of saying they've been supportive, they now say they have been supportive.
When talking about temporary changes, learners move from she's been quiet today to she's being quiet today.
In progress discussions, they stop saying we're been improving and say we are improving or we have been improving.
When explaining situations, instead of saying the system is been updated, they now say the system has been updated.
In personal growth conversations, instead of saying I'm been stronger, they now say I have been stronger lately.
In leadership discussions, instead of saying he has been responsible, they now say he has been responsible.
When talking about learning, instead of saying we're been focused, they now say we are being focused.
In feedback sessions, instead of saying you have been helpful, they now say you have been helpful.
In planning meetings, instead of saying the plan is been prepared, they now say the plan has been prepared.
In everyday life, instead of saying dinner is been cooked, they now say dinner is being cooked.
Over time, these small corrections help learners sound more fluent and confident in real conversations.
And that's why practicing these differences step by step helps you move from confused English to clear and natural speaking.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Daily English Podcast so you can keep improving your English every day.
See you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.